Hey everyone, Legal Eagle here. Today we're diving into some legal drama involving Harvard University, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Supreme Court. So, what's the scoop? On May 26, 2025, Harvard filed a lawsuit against the DHS over a controversial move to ban foreign students by stripping them of their visas. Harvard claims this decision is unconstitutional and sought an emergency restraining order. Judge Allison Dale Burroughs, an Obama appointee, quickly granted this restraining order, temporarily halting the DHS's visa operation against Harvard. This case could potentially speed its way up to the Supreme Court, and here's where things get really interesting. You see, 4 of the current Supreme Court justices have ties to Harvard. Chief Justice John Roberts, Justice Elena Kagan, Justice Neil Gorsuch, and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson all have either attended or worked at Harvard. Justice Jackson even served on the Harvard Board of Overseers until 2022 and has a daughter currently enrolled there. In a similar context, Justice Jackson recused herself from the 2023 case, a major affirmative action case. However, the other 3 justices did not. This brings us to the crux of the issue: recusal. Recusal is when a judge steps aside from a case due to potential conflicts of interest. The big question here is, should the justices with Harvard connections recuse themselves from this case? Professor James Sample from Hofstra University explains that recusal is entirely subjectively applied by the justice, meaning it's up to each individual justice to determine whether to step aside. The closer the connection between a justice and the specific interest in litigation, the higher the potential for an appearance of conflict. But as legal scholar Ed Whelan noted, merely attending a university involved in litigation isn't usually enough to require recusal. This isn't the first time recusal has come under the spotlight. Recently, Justice Amy Coney Barrett recused herself from a case, leading to a 4-4 deadlock, without explaining her reasons. And in another case, the Supreme Court declined to take it up because 5 justices recused themselves due to their ties to Penguin Random House. And let's not forget Justice Clarence Thomas, who faced calls for recusal from cases related to the 2020 election due to his wife's activities but did not step aside. It just goes to show, the standards for recusal are far from clear-cut. Harvard's lawsuit against the DHS isn't the only one they're involved in this year. Back in April, they filed another lawsuit alleging the Trump administration improperly froze over $2 billion in grant money and contracts. So what does this mean for the Supreme Court? If Harvard's case against the DHS does make it to the Supreme Court, we could see some interesting decisions about recusal. Will Chief Justice Roberts, Justice Kagan, and Justice Gorsuch step aside? Or will they decide their connections to Harvard aren't enough to warrant recusal? Legal enthusiasts, this is a developing story worth following. The outcomes could have significant implications for how the Supreme Court handles recusal in the future. As always, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more legal breakdowns. Stay informed, and I'll catch you in the next one.